So I've read all you guys' comments on who should be PFA Player of the Year. I've read that they have to consider FA Cup, consider Carabao Cup, consider this, consider that, consider Nigerian League, consider every single thing, just so that Rice and Raya can win. All these Arsenal fans. But today I will be doing my own nominees for PFA Player of the Year, and I will also be analyzing all of them. So looking at PFA Player of the Year, I mean, you have to focus on Premier League first because that's actually the most important trophy. And also you have to also talk about their individual brilliance because it's an individual award. It's not a team award. It's actually an individual award. So my nominees are Joao Pedro of Chelsea, Igo Thiago of Brentford, Erling Brot Haaland of Manchester City, Antoine Semenyo of Manchester City, David Raya of Arsenal, Declan Rice of Arsenal, Gabriel Magalhaes of Arsenal, and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. Looking at all these players, Joao Pedro, he has 14 goals this season. I actually did not expect Joao Pedro to have 14 goals this season, considering the kind of midfield they have. Palmer is not creating this season, Enzo Fernandez is not creating, Caicedo, mechanic midfielder. So I did not even expect Joao Pedro to have 14, up to even 10 goals this season. But he actually beat my imagination, and that is why I actually put him in the nominees for PFA Player of the Year. Also looking at Igo Thiago, I think Brentford actually sold Wissa, they sold Buemo, and bringing in Igo Thiago, I was expecting him that, oh, he's coming into a new league, so I did not even expect him to have that number of goals. He has 21 goals, and there's every tendency that he could reach Haaland in the golden boot. So that's why he's actually in my nominee for PFA Player of the Year. Then also looking at Erling Brot Haaland, I mean, there's no two ways about it why Haaland is actually in my nominees. We have actually been seeing what he has been doing since he came to Manchester City. He has actually been producing goals every single season. So that is why he's actually in my nominee for Player of the Season. And he's actually the player with the highest goal contribution. He has, I think, 29. And the second person is Bruno Fernandes, which we will talk about at the end of the video. So that's why actually Erling Brot Haaland is in my nominee. And if he actually gets to win the league, he's actually one of the strong contenders to win that PFA Player of the Year. Then also looking at Antoine Semenyo, I mean, he was at Bournemouth. He was producing the goals. He scored Manchester United. He scored some other big teams like that. And he went on to Manchester City and is actually still delivering on that particular aspect. That's actually why I nominated him for my PFA Player of the Year. And then also looking at Declan Rice, I mean, that is actually who Arsenal fans are saying he should win the PFA Player of the Year. But I don't think so. I mean, if anybody from Arsenal is supposed to win the PFA Player of the Year, it's actually Gabriel Magalhaes or maybe David Raya, not Declan Rice. Declan Rice, the past 5 games, he has actually been a shadow of himself. It's not the Declan Rice that we know. In fact, there is no single match that I've said, oh, this Declan Rice that won for Arsenal. But I can actually mention matches that Gabriel and David Raya has won for Arsenal. So that is why I will not pick Declan Rice to win my PFA Player of the Year. But he's actually in my nominees because he has produced some kind of magic for them. Then looking at Gabriel Magalhaes, he's actually one of the Rolls Royce defenders that I've seen in the Premier League. I mean, he's actually one of the best defenders I've seen in the Premier League, if not the best. Partnering with Saliba has actually been a very good thing for him because he has someone to cover up when he makes mistakes. Not like he doesn't make mistakes, he makes mistakes, but he always have that one person to cover up for him. So that is why he's actually my nominee for PFA Player of the Year. And if you look at up front, whenever he's going to, when Arsenal has a corner, he's that one man that you can always bang on to score from Arsenal's corner. So that is why he's actually my PFA Player of the Year. And he's actually, for FPL, he's actually the defender with the most points. So there's no brainer why he's actually in my list. Also looking at David Raya, I mean, and speaking of David Raya, I mean, not so many goalkeepers delivers how Raya delivers. I mean, on his very good day, he's actually one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and that is why he's actually my nominee for PFA Player of the Year. He has actually saved Arsenal. I can't remember one particular match, and that was against Chelsea. He made some insane saves that I wouldn't have even think of that he will make. Even against Everton, he made some insane saves, and this is the kind of matches that I've seen David Raya win for Arsenal. So he's actually one of my, like, if not top 3, he's actually top 2 contender to win the PFA Player of the Year for me. Then talking about the last person, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes currently is on 18 assists, and if he actually breaks that record of the most assists in the single season, which is 20, which is held by Thierry Henry of Arsenal and Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City, then there is no brainer of who should win PFA Player of the Year. It has to be him. It has to be him. I mean, Manchester United is struggling, but he is actually still producing this kind of numbers. So there is no brainer of why Bruno Fernandes should win PFA Player of the Year. Thierry Henry of Arsenal, who is actually an Arsenal legend, he said that now he's not even calling him Bruno Fernandes again. He's calling him Bruno Fernandes. He's actually thinking with his brain. He's not playing football. He's thinking football. So that is the kind of person that should be winning PFA Player of the Year, not someone that tomorrow he will perform, next tomorrow he will not perform, tomorrow he will perform, next tomorrow he will not perform. So having analyzed all these players, my PFA Player of the Year for 2025-2026 season is no other than Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. Then coming second, David Raya of Arsenal. Third, Gabriel Magalhaes of Arsenal. And that is only if Arsenal wins the league. But if Arsenal does not win the league, then Bruno Fernandes first, David Raya second, Erling Braut Haaland third.